came in around 2 a.m., silent and smiling, and left with nothing but duct tape and a warning. I didn't think much of it until I found a photo that shouldn't exist. I worked the night shift at a gas station just off Route 17. It's one of those older stations, the kind with flickering neon signs, and a single dingy restroom that customers constantly complain about. We're technically open 24/7, but between 12 and 5 a.m., it's just me behind the counter and the buzzing hum of the overhead lights. The place is quiet most nights. A couple of regulars, truckers on their way to the next city, and the occasional stranded driver looking for directions. I don't mind it. There's something peaceful about the silence, until it isn't. It was a Wednesday when this happened, sometime around 2:15 a.m. I remember because I had just finished restocking the cooler and sat back down to scroll through my phone when the chime above the door went off. I looked up expecting another tired driver, but instead, it was a man in a heavy coat. The kind of coat that looks out of place in our mild southern weather. He didn't say anything at first, just walked in, slow and deliberate, and stood at the back of the store where the drinks are. I figured maybe he was just cold or drunk or both. Happens more than you'd think. I kept an eye on him while pretending to scroll. After a full minute, he still hadn't opened the cooler or picked anything up, just stood there facing the fridge with his back to me. Eventually, I called out, "You doing all right back there?" He didn't respond. I raised my voice a little. "Hey man, you need help with something?" He finally turned around, and that's when I noticed it. His face was pale, not sick pale, like corpse pale, and he was smiling, but his eyes weren't smiling. They were wide and completely still, like he was staring through me. He walked slowly up to the counter and laid down a single item, a roll of duct tape. No wallet, no ID, just tape. I tried to stay calm. "That all for you tonight?" He nodded once, still smiling. I rang him up and said, "That'll be $3.79. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a perfectly folded $5 bill, then said something I'll never forget. In a flat, almost amused voice, he said, "You lock the doors when you're alone, right?" I froze. The smile never left his face, but something about the way he said it, it didn't feel like a question, more like a test. I nodded slowly, trying not to show how uneasy I suddenly felt. "Good," he said. "You should keep doing that." Then, he took his tape and walked out without another word. I ran to the door and hit the lock. Then I stood there for a full minute, watching him cross the empty parking lot. But here's the thing. He didn't get into a car. He walked straight past the pumps, through the lot, and disappeared into the woods behind the station. The cameras cover the front and part of the side, but not the tree line. Once he was out of view, it was like he vanished. I didn't sleep when I got home that morning. I told my manager what happened, and we even checked the footage. There he was, plain as day, but something was wrong. His shadow didn't move. I mean that literally. The lights above the coolers cast clear shadows for everything else, but not for him. Weird as it sounds, that wasn't the end of it. A few nights later, I was refilling the coffee machine when I noticed something taped to the inside of the restroom door. It was a photo, black and white, old, judging by the look of it. It showed the gas station, same layout, same front counter, but dated. I could tell because the signs and prices were different. What made me drop the photo, though, was what, or who, was in it. Standing behind the counter, in the exact spot I usually stand, was the same man. Same coat, same face, same smile. Except the photo looked like it was taken 30, maybe 40 years ago. We don't keep a printer in the store, and there's no camera or anything that would have produced something like that. I took the photo to my boss, and he said he'd never seen it before. We checked the cameras again. That night, no one went into the bathroom but me. I've been working here a little less since then, part-time now. I still pick up the occasional night shift when someone calls in, but I never work alone anymore. And every time the door chime goes off after midnight, my stomach knots just a little. Because I know he's still out there, somewhere past the tree line, waiting.